Well, hello everyone. VN here, and welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're tuning in, my name is VN King, and I just love sharing from my heart. Possibly most often with a cup of tea in my hand at my kitchen table, at my living room couch, and this is where I am. I came to you last time from my living room, just sharing my heart, and that's what I'm going to do today. And so if you've been trucking with me for a while, you know that I just like being transparent and open with you. And today I would like to share with you something that I actually felt about a year ago in April, and just recently I was reminded of it again. And I believe it's a word that I want to share with you to help and encourage you. And I woke up with one word back in April 13th, 2021. I woke up with one word in my mind, and it was underbelly. Like, underbelly. Well, I'll share more in a minute, but you know what? Just this last week, one of my prayer team, who I shared that word with, actually reminded me of that word again. She's like, I couldn't get that word out of my mind today and wanted to share it with you. And I was like, wow, is that ever a word, a timely word for me? But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you what the word is all about and why it meant something to me and why I believe it's a word for you today too. And so I'll just kind of share with you exactly what I felt a year ago and tell you, and you'll know why it's encouraging that why it is encouragement that I feel to share with you today. I'm like, so I got underbelly. I'm like, underbelly? That's odd, God, what's that, right? And so I went on a word search, and I was like, why did you want to tell me underbelly? Thinking I'm totally out to lunch here, right? But what I found was a word that I knew that I was going to need to keep close. And it has three meanings. Underbelly has three meanings. I'm going to tell you the three of them. One is a soft underside or abdomen of an animal. And the second one is an area vulnerable to attack. And the third is a hidden, unpleasant, or criminal part of society. And I was like, God, I don't know why this word came to me this morning, But as I read them again, the second one jumped out to me, and it says it's an area vulnerable to attack. I think of all the things that you or I might be doing or called to do in this season. Some of us are called to rebuild. Some of us are called to call people higher, to help people feel free or feel hope and to be supported. And some of us are supporting people in ways that we never thought we could or would have to be. But I believe God is also in those moments saying, you know what, be mindful and be aware of people who are genuine people, who are willing to receive your help, but versus the people who are not so genuine, who maybe zap your energy and the strength you have. And when you're expending energy in areas where you shouldn't be, it zaps your energy and you're not effective and you don't have the endurance to keep going. And I believe that God is wanting us to give us even more discernment, to be able to discern like who we need to bring closer, and those who we need to maybe let go or set stricter boundaries with, because we all know in our lifetime that we need healthy boundaries, and that's just a natural part of life. But sometimes when you're a helper and you're a giver, you find it hard to set those boundaries, right? And so in some cases, it's not even that person is not worth your help or not worth your time, but if we keep stepping in where we're not meant to be, or it's not our place, or that sometimes it could be simple as if you keep helping someone, they might not find the inner strength that they need for themselves. And so that's just one example, one why to not keep stepping in where you're not needed. And I could go on with that list, but you probably have your own. But in this season, I encourage you, yes, encourage people, let people be warmed by the fire that burns within you, but please don't give away the oil that keeps your fire burning. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? You know, and I want to pray a hedge of protection around myself and anyone who's doing their best to help those around you, those who need encouragement. And I pray that God will give us all wisdom and insight for any areas that we feel vulnerable. Like, because stepping out and, you know, being vulnerable, that's what is needed right now. But also we need to protect those areas that we are being vulnerable, right? So please, God, you know, I ask that anyone who's listening, who's needing this message, I pray that God, that you will show me, continue to show me any areas where we are vulnerable, and to put a high fortress, like a place of protection around it. Not like a guard where you're like, you get a hard heart where you don't want to let people in, but setting those healthy boundaries is important. And it could be as simple as saying no, a little more, or something to be said about not saying anything in a situation, right? Because sometimes we say things and we're not meant to say things. And so every time we open up our mouth, you know, we open up an opportunity maybe to be a target for a bigger hurt, right? And so please, you know, be mindful of where you're expending your energy. And sometimes it's saying no, setting your boundaries, yes, but sometimes it's just not saying anything at all. And I know we all have been in those situations, right? And so there are so many ways here where we can be caught off guard. And so I received that in my life. And today I pray that it helps you help others and helps you to be able to say, you know what, we need protections, we need boundaries, and it's okay to set them. And we need that in our life. And I thank God that he gives us wisdom. And I thank God that he gives us battle strategies, right, that help us, that we can use in those times when we don't know. God give us discernment and to help us make decisions and stay strengthened. And one of the strategies that I've tried to hold to in my life, and maybe it will help you, and it's like this cycle, you know, like you have a washing cycle that goes through a cycle before it's completed. Well, I've come up with this little cycle, and it's like fight, not necessarily fight in the negative sense, but where you're expending your energy, you're helping, you're pouring out. So, you know, fight, retreat. We have to retreat. You can't keep in the fight mode, right? You can't keep in the pouring out mood. You need to retreat. And then rest. So in your retreating, what are you doing to rest? And so as you rest, then you need to refresh in order to be able to repeat. And so I got this little cycle of fight, retreat, rest, refresh, repeat. You know, and so because there's so many people that are needing our support, needing our help, but if we don't go into a retreat or a rest or a refreshing in that cycle when you know that you need to, how are you going to be any good to anyone else? So what I will say to you today is, please keep refreshing yourself, keep refreshing and resting, but protect your underbelly. If you want to see more encouragement, please click the like button, you know, subscribe, and I hope to bring you more inspiration and encouragement from my heart to yours. Thank you.